Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Checking In with RHAA, the show where we check in with one of our alumni, hit that rewind button on their journey, and break it down. We are your hosts, Andy Tran.
And Chantal Wong.
Sorry, I had to put that in for the first episode.
Of course.
Anyways, we are finally here. Very first episode of this podcast.
Took a few weeks, but we're here. Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah. So the reason why we wanted to do this podcast is that we wanted to bring our alumni stories closer, or in a better format. What's the word I'm looking for?
Just tell people stories, really.
Yeah, just to tell people stories in another medium. Mm-hmm. It's going to be exciting. We just finished recording the interview with the very first guest, Jessie Wong, who graduated alongside with me in the year 2020. Mm-hmm. But yeah, before we get into things, I think we need to tell everyone a little bit about ourselves.
Introduce, yeah.
So I think we should start with graduation year, or when you'll graduate in your case, while we went into hospitality, and our current roles. So jobs, positions in the RHAA, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Do you want to go first or?
Sure.
Should I?
I'll go first.
Go for it.
So my name is Andy Tran. I graduated in March of 2020. So I had the distinct honor of being the very first graduating class of COVID-19.
Truly a special
Truly
class.
A special honor to be bestowed. Yeah. So how or why I got into hospitality? Well, to be honest, it's not that exciting of a story. I just remember in high school, I never really knew what I wanted to do. Like I had an interest for like interior design, but as you can.
He did that wall, by the way, for all the video viewers. He painted that wall.
Yeah. So I had an interest in that, but like I wasn't sure if I wanted to have that as like my career. But in grade 10, our high school offered a hospitality and tourism course, and that kind of piqued my interest. But then it wasn't until like grade 11 or 12 where I took the course again, and like the teacher there who taught it for those 2 years, like kind of like fostered my interest a little bit more, and I started taking it more seriously. And then when it was time to pick universities, I was looking at what I need for like interior design and what I need for hospitality. And like, I was just like, I think hospitality is the way to go. Let's just do that. Yeah.
Were you actually only looking at Ryerson?
So I knew that I wanted to be downtown, but I wasn't like specifically like dead set on Ryerson. Mm-hmm. But like when I was like looking for like hospitality programs, Ryerson was on the top of my list. Yeah. Just because it's downtown.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it was that or Guelph. Which, don't get me wrong, Guelph has a great program as well.
We just like the downtown life.
Yeah, but in the end, the location kind of did it for me. Yeah. Currently on the RHAA, I am on the communications committee. So I help with, so the communications committee is basically anything you see on social media, on the LinkedIns, on the Instagram, and now this podcast, which is our brand new initiative that we're starting this year.
Exciting.
In terms of jobs, I am currently working at Angus Glen Golf Club in Markham. I am the lead on-course supervisor. So for those who don't speak golf lingo, I just take care of all the food and beverage that is served on course. So on the beverage carts, at the halfway houses, and if tournaments start up again, any of the food stations that we might have. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me. How about you, Chantal? What's your little interesting backstory over here?
My backstory is quite the spiel, to be honest. So my graduation year, first of all, as you can see, is 2024. That's because I am in a 5-year co-op program, so I'm entering my 3rd year of the program now. Why I went into hospitality is really something, I think. So basically when I entered high school, I was 100% committed to going into graphic design. No one was going to change my mind. I did every single project possible for graphics, whether it be the yearbook or for musicals, fashion shows. I worked on basketball tournaments for my school. I basically
Wow.
did everything possible. And that's kind of how I ended up in RHGSS, and I met Andy, of course. But in doing like musicals and all of that theater publicity, I also ended up doing stage management for theater, which is basically like you kind of run the show, you run a lot of the rehearsals, you build the day-to-day schedule, you do all the calls on the day of the actual live performance. And I kind of realized if I'm spending, 5 days a week doing this stage management thing, and that's what I was doing when I was in my senior year. I was the stage manager of my school's largest production, which was the musical, and I was spending pretty much every waking moment working on it. And then I decided to apply for theater and for graphics for post-secondary. And
You
along
also,
that,
sorry, you also left out a key
I did.
info about that. What was the budget for that school production?
It was like 5 figures.
What in the High School Musical were you doing?
Okay, first of all, if anyone's in theater, copyright is the most expensive thing. It is literally half of your production value.
Okay.
So I was in charge of a 5-figure production. Loved it, but I realized
That would be at 15, 16?
I was 17
17.
when
Okay,
I
my
was
bad.
working on that. I was 17 when I was doing that.
Wow.
Still the craziest thing ever. Luckily, I didn't manage too much of the financials. I did more the day-to-day stuff. But yeah, so I ended up applying for theater and graphics, and along with that, also I started looking into event management. So things like outside of theater that I could run the events of. And Ryerson was already on my radar because of their graphics program. So I ended up applying for hospitality.
Nice.
And now I'm in the program. So it's a bit of a long story, but that's how I ended up
there.
there.
And it's a great program to be in, obviously.
It really is. Obviously, we both went through it.
Yeah. Yeah, and through courses and stuff, right now, my top interests are event planning. I'm a huge fan of WWE, so I'm really into live event production as well.
Exactly, which I think if you know the two of us, we're very events focused. That's for sure.
Yeah, we are very events focused.
Yeah, I guess current roles. So I'm on a co-op semester right now. So I work as a marketing coordinator on the conference team for D2L, which is basically
the infamous desire to learn.
Yes, the desire to learn software for anyone who goes to Ryerson, went to Ryerson, or goes to another institution. That's basically where all of our online courses are found. I cannot tell you a single thing about how the back end works of that. I work on their conference team. But that's my current role. And during the school year, I work as the events assistant for the Hospitality Alumni Association. So I just sit in all the committees and run some events.
You're all over the place of the RHAA. You're the backbone of RHAA, pretty much.
I don't know about the backbone. I really think that's actually Laura. But I try and help out wherever I can.
All right. Well, speaking of RHAA, the sole reason we're here, we have some updates that we have to share with you guys. Yeah. So just wanted to put that little graphic up there. So the first one I have on our list, the golf tournament. So what's going on with that?
Yeah, so we have decided to postpone the 25th annual golf tournament for another year to 2022. Yeah. It's just, it's the safest thing, and hopefully we can all see each other again with our big finale, 25th annual one.
Yeah. And it sucks, but hey, it's good things are worth waiting for, right?
Exactly. And I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and hey, my goal is to learn how to golf this year, so maybe next year I can be a part of it.
If you could teach me to golf, that would be great.
Yeah, for sure. You just have to drive up to Markham, though, because I don't think there are any golf courses downtown.
No, eventually we'll get there.
Yeah. All right, next on our list, I have something down about a new initiative in the fall from RHAA.
Yeah, so it's still a little bit of a secret, top secret, I guess. But
Okay.
it's going to
Ooh.
be a really exciting initiative, I would say. We're involving a lot of different alumni in this one, and it's going to be something we can all do together, but apart in the climate of today right now.
Ooh, can't wait. So is that launching like what when the new school season? Oh my God, when the new school semester starts?
Well, it will be when the new season starts. I'm expecting it to be in the fall, sometime in the fall, so everyone can kind of keep their eyes out on their social medias for that one.
All right. Awesome. And Instagram takeovers. We've had a couple so far this year, right?
Yeah, so the Instagram takeovers have been a new initiative by this year's communications committee. Big shout out to Amelia Kim and Catherine Lowe, who have been organizing that. We've had, at this time of recording, 3 Instagram takeovers by an alumna from 2018. So Jessica, alumni 2020, who is Sarah, alumni 2015, who is Olivia. You can look at all of their takeovers on our Instagram highlights and relive their typical day.
Yeah. And they're interesting, by the way. Like Zara is in Dubai right now.
Yes. They
Yeah,
all work in very different roles.
yeah.
That's for sure.
I think that's it for updates so
I
far.
think so too for
Yeah.
the RHAA anyways.
Yeah. So next, we just thought it might be fun just to do like a little like hospitality news kind of like update. So like I guess what's called a news check-in. So me and Chantel, we were both just scrolling through like news articles and see if there's anything hospitality related that we can talk about.
Using our research skills that we learned in our hospitality program.
Yes. Oh my God. So the first one I have here, I actually found this on BlogTO. This happened not too long ago. Toronto restaurant hurt by 100 canceled reservations on opening weekend.
Big ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are currently recording in June. So we just reopened like 2 weeks ago. So
yeah, not long ago at all.
Patios are like fresh. So
I think anyone who lives in Ontario, or at least like anywhere near like the GTA, patios are a big deal. You know, everyone flocked to the patios when they reopened. But
so the manager at Bindia tells BlogTO that while the weekend started off good on Friday, on Saturday 44 people canceled, and on Sunday 57 people canceled patio reservations. And they said they canceled like 5 minutes before. So the restaurant ended up seating 70 people on Saturday and only 55 on Sunday. Ooh.
And our industry's already been like, we have been so hard hit by this pandemic, obviously. And so for things to reopen and for this to happen, it just really like it breaks my heart.
Because like people like obviously people love to have choices. So like they make multiple reservations and then they just pick one last minute, but then they don't and then they cancel the other ones. But right now capacity is limited, right?
That's what I don't really understand, because even my friends and I, like, we've gone to patios, but everything has been super booked. So if you have the ability to cancel another reservation, you know, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. So Bindia is now saying that they are adding on a charge or a cancellation fee if they cancel within 24 hours. $20 per person.
I mean, 24 hours is, I got to be honest, like quite a long time, because sometimes I know people book their patios on the day of. But I do think it is sort of fair for places to kind of charge, because...
So like, my question I was going to pose was like, do you think it's ethical to charge for like cancellations?
I think in the sense, I've seen some patios start to charge for reservations, and I don't really know how it works, if it comes off their bill or whatever, but in
like
some
a deposit
sense,
almost,
right?
Like
a deposit. Like in some sense, I think in those cases it is sort of ethical, because for you to cancel or to not show up when there are hundreds or dozens of people out there who want that patio reservation, it's just fair to other people, and I think it's also fair to the restaurant industry to be able to build themselves
Yeah.
back up after all of this.
Yeah, like for me, like I don't understand like people who like make like 5 reservations
Mhm.
for that one day. Cause like if I knew I want to go to that place, I'm gonna go to that place.
Yeah,
Like there's no like debate about it.
exactly. Like I feel like, at least for me, it's been, you find the patio that has a spot like open. So I'm not sure how people are booking 5 open spots on patios.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Hmm.
crazy.
It's weird. Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, so like just to answer my own question, I feel
yeah.
like yeah, restaurants could go for it. Like charge a deposit, charge a cancellation fee. But maybe $20 is per person. $20 per person might be a bit too much.
I think it really depends on the restaurant and like how long their cancellations. Like 24 hours, I admit, like a lot of the time I book a patio on the day of. So obviously,
Mhm.
like that's not going to work if it's on the day of.
Yeah,
But
or maybe because capacity is so limited, like do we go away with reservations until capacity can be increased?
yeah,
Like walk-ins only?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really seeing how our industry is reviving again, at least
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure. All right. Do you have a news story for
I
us, Chantel?
do. I mean, speaking of our industry reviving, we kind of talked about the food sector. Um, I guess this is more tourism, even like domestic tourism.
Hmm.
So, Canada's Wonderland, which I have only been to once, and that was before I even moved here, uh, is reopening, which is exciting.
Okay. When are they reopening?
That is a really good question. They have announced that it would reopen on July 7th with COVID-19 safety protocols, obviously. And it's all
Okay.
part of Ontario's Step 2 reopening plan. The tickets went on sale June 17th. But I know a lot of people have had questions about it, and I do too. I mean, I don't live
Yeah.
anywhere near Canada's Wonderland, to be honest. But if I ever wanted to go, a lot of people have the same questions that I do. Like, are we allowed to bring in hand sanitizer? What do you do about contact tracing? Is like, what's sort of the COVID
Yeah.
procedures for that?
So like obviously like they said masks, right? Like
I would
the
expect
park.
so, yeah.
So like are they selling food and beverage?
Yeah, because if you're selling food and beverage, people are going to be taking off their masks, right?
Yeah.
And it also said, their capacity is obviously going to be like way, way smaller, like 15-25%. But that's still almost like 1,000, 2,000 people
Hmm.
in the park.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
How do
mean, I
you
would
feel
still
about it?
go. I would still go.
I haven't been to Canada's
Just because
Wonderland
it's been a
in,
while since I've been too, so like I feel like I just need to like get it out of my system.
I don't think I've been since I was like 15, and I'm
Yeah.
almost 20 now. So
Yeah, but here's the thing, like how often are they going to be like cleaning the ride? So like are they going to be like
that's,
fogging it with the
mhm,
machine like after every rider or like what's
mhm.
going to happen? Are they going to give you a wipe as you get on? So it's like here, wipe it yourself.
I mean, amusement parks were already like, they're outdoors. They can only be so clean with that many people.
Yeah.
So I really question how they're going to answer all of those
Hmm.
questions and reviews.
Yeah. Only time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean,
I'm going to wait till like opening weekend and see what the
mhm.
reviews are
Yeah, and see how
before I
many people
start.
go there for
Yeah.
sure.
Do they have to like book a time? Because I remember way back when, like
Hmm.
if I bought a ticket, the
Hmm.
ticket was good for any day of the season. But like when you buy a ticket now, do you
Mm.
have to like pick a day at checkout?
That's interesting. I mean, the article that I'm seeing right now and I'm reading is you can still buy season passes and you can book dates, is
Hmm.
what it looks like.
Wow. All right. I guess time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's getting their shots now. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I really don't know how they're going to run it, to be honest.
Yeah. I think that we should wrap it up right there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So now we should move on to Jessie Wong.
Yeah, and her
Yeah.
introduction.
Yeah. So she graduated in 2020. So like her story is great because a lot of people can relate, being
Hmm.
graduating in a pandemic and navigating your career in a pandemic. So yeah, it should be a fun interview for you guys.
Yeah, she's a
All right.
fantastic person, and
Yeah.
I think you guys are really going to enjoy this one.
All right, so get ready, guys, because we're about to be checking in with Jessie Wong. Jessie Wong's HTM journey began in 2014. Her interest in the hospitality industry was sparked after attending a Raptors game, and she ultimately decided to study hospitality here at Ryerson. During her undergrad, Jessie was off to the races, soaking up experience from every corner of the industry. From a summer position at Disney to a presidency stint on the Ryerson Hospitality and Tourism Student Society, Jessie reached her ultimate undergrad highlight when she studied abroad in Amsterdam. As April 2020 approached, Jessie was faced with the challenge of being one of the very first classes to graduate in a pandemic. Under these unprecedented circumstances, Jessie was able to find her stride, as she currently works for a restaurant and 2 local BIAs, where she is spearheading a weekend market aimed to showcase local businesses around the GTA. Hear her HTM journey and more, as we're about to check in with Jessie Wong.
We are.
All right, everyone, please welcome our very first guest on Checking In with RHAA, Jessie Wong.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah, soundboard on a budget. There we go. All right, first of all, how are you?
I'm very well. I actually loved chatting with you guys for the past 35 minutes when we were supposed to start them. That was really great. I'm really well today.
Yeah. So I know you have like a million things going on, which we will get to. But before we get that, I just want to like hit rewind, turn it all the way back and just talk about your undergrad first. So like me, you graduated in 2020, first graduating class of COVID.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh gosh. But yeah, so like let's just go all the way back. So what year you started and why did you choose to study hospitality?
I believe it was, great question to go back. Got to think about it. I think it was 2014. And I was thinking about this. The typical answer I'd say is that I realize I'm pretty extroverted. I love talking, connecting with people. And then I traveled with my family, started loving that. In the summers, went back to Hong Kong, where my family's from. And then also just love experiencing new things like hands-on. But more so when I think back to it, I realized I did a lot of volunteering for hours in high school because it was really fun. It was like a mindset where because I was a volunteer, people would grab me here left and right, like, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? And I would always be like, okay, how do I do it? How can I help? And because they're appreciative of it, right? Say thank you. And I guess I thrived off that.
Like the fast-paced environment and like the people, right?
Exactly. And it was also that mindset, like when you're volunteering, you're there early. So you're hustling for the setup. And then there's like a little calm. And then you get to chat with people. You get to walk around, get to see things, what's happening. And then at the end, it was hustle again. So it's always fun. I think I remember this one event. It was like a Raptors game, not a Raptors fan. So I'm not quite sure like even what had happened, but I saw in the corner of my eye, there was this person with a clipboard dressed pretty nicely. And she was like pointing at things, had a mic. It looked like she was running the floor, which she definitely was. And I was like, oh, that looks really fun. Like whatever she's pointing at, people are doing. People are going there. People are getting things done. And I thought that was like really fun. That looked really fun. It seemed like I could do that type of leadership. And so that's kind of exactly where I am now, really. Just.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, left and right.
Yeah. So like, oh no, go ahead, Chantal.
I was just gonna say, I feel like that's such an event mindset because I think all three of us are pretty events orientated, and you were involved in stuff like that at Ryerson when you were like doing extracurriculars and stuff like that.
100%. It wasn't until like you guys reached out to me, I kind of forgot any of the experience of events that I had. I mean, everything we do, at least graduating hospitality and tourism, like you always have a job that's in operations. But after a while, you kind of like either merge some of the sectors and you kind of forget like a few of the very specific experiences. And I definitely forgot, like I did I had like a job in banquets. I did catering one time before. And now that I think back, I'm like, oh yeah, these are all events that I had to plan, not just like hotelier or something. So yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you were involved in a lot during your undergrad. Like, you were president of RHCSS
Yes.
for a year. We worked in Ted Rogers Catering, I believe, right?
I feel like that was actually a good spark.
Good.
Catering, because then I went to more events and I'm like, well, I cater for that. And then I would see more people like, hey, they're directing this back of house and they're doing it like quick. People are going there. And everybody attending as a guest was like having a great time. It was like, oh, this is really great.
Yeah, and on a side note, it's like, it's cool having a job at the school you go to because you get to know like the behind the scenes
stuff.
So
true.
And
all three of us.
And sometimes the gossip.
Yeah. I just realized now that all three of us is coming together.
Yeah, so I worked in the special events and property management office. Chantal has worked in the HTM office, and then you in catering. So like, you know, we got all the bases.
Yeah,
all three areas.
Run the school.
I think we actually can. Like in the future, I'll see you all there.
Yeah. We'll make it like really
maybe like 2030.
The best networking event you'll ever attend at Ryerson.
Yeah.
With like a show too for opening and like a full gala.
Well, I mean, there is an anniversary coming up soon. So
is it Cara Commons?
That'll probably be Cara Commons.
Which the Cara Commons anniversary?
Yeah, so much that place.
I don't know. There's an anniversary coming up some point. I remember talking about it.
Was it like the HTM program anniversary?
That's a really good question. It's either the HTM program or the school or something. It's coming soon.
Yeah. All right. And also on top of that, you were part of that Disney program, the Walt Disney program. Right?
Yes, I was.
Tell me about that.
Oh my gosh, it was like ages ago. Honestly, I did not know what I was going to do that summer yet for a job. I knew I needed a job. And then all my friends were like, okay, well, this is a like a careers booth. What is it? BCH.
Oh,
was like
in
their emails, I think.
The Business Career Hub,
Mm-hmm. It was one of those times when it got like near the time of almost graduation, didn't have a job yet. I just sent an application since my friends were doing it too. And next thing I hear, got the interview, did great, got an invite. And then fourth, it's like, well, all my friends are going. I have like a support system. Why not do this opportunity that's like work hard, play hard with my friends in Florida, in Disney?
Yeah.
It was like a no-brainer. Yes, let's go, right?
Yeah. So also just here's a tip, guys. Those BCH emails are actually helpful.
Read those emails.
Don't send those to junk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super helpful.
Yeah.
I don't think I like really used it until like second year, like third year.
Yeah.
Probably. There's good stuff in there.
Yeah. I remember I kind of regretted not doing the Disney program because like my first year or second year, I was like in that like, oh, I'm too cool for all this kind of mindset. You know, like, I'm just here,
I didn't
go to
know
school,
that.
go home. Like I didn't care about anything, but I'm like, okay, maybe I should have actually like applied for that Disney program because it sounded pretty cool. So what did you do at like Disney? Like what was your position?
I had experience in retail. So I applied for like a sales, like a kind of merchandiser, like taking, overseeing like a shop for clothes or like just merchandise really.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great because there was something called a funtainment or something like that. Whereas you're just not on cashier. Yes, I'm taught cashier. Yes, I'm taught to do like the Disney count where it was counting very particularly, making sure your guest would know the exact amount. It was about playing with the merchandise. You get to play with kids. You get to show it around. It's almost as if you're a princess yourself playing like with the bubble wand. You're really spreading the magic with everybody who comes across you. And I would never in my head ever think it's just sales, just sales. Yes, there's a number to hit, but it was so much more fun than just the number. and that was about it. I had a great position at Epcot where
Ooh.
I was in charge of like five shops basically.
Oh,
And had different
Wow.
uniforms for every single sector. So like I got to know the layout of 5 different places, and it got me like really flexible, meeting new people because of
Wow.
shift changes. I thought it was great. Yeah, not just like one job, same place every day.
Yeah. I would assume you probably like thrived in that environment. Like going back to what you said earlier, like moving parts. Like you love just like fast paced kind of work.
I did, and it was like the people. Everybody
Wow.
was like in the international program, so friendly. Just most magical place to be. You know, it really was.
yeah. I
Most
feel like
magical place to be, but was it the most magical place to work at?
It was, it is like shift work at the end of the day.
Okay.
So you still have to do like that 8 hours. But after that, after doing it with people that you learn to love from different countries, right?
Mhm.
You get to go to the parks all for free. All of them.
Okay. See,
Talking
now I really regret not doing it.
The castle.
I mean, I feel like everyone I knew who went and was like part of your friend group, like they had a great time, because I remember going to that session in my first year and being like, I want to go to this program like immediately. And obviously I went through a COVID year, so that was not the case for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like everyone had a really good time and they talked highly about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad they did, and I'm not just like lying so they can back me up. But for sure, it was great that we had each other.
Mm-hmm.
Very lucky, yeah.
Yeah. So that Disney program just lasted for a year, or no, like a summer.
It was summer.
Yes.
Yeah.
It,
And then you came back, and then was that when you became president of RHCSS?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really have to recall a bit, but yes, I remember getting like a confirmation email when I was in Florida. I had like a FaceTime with the previous president, Kareem, and he was like working in Vancouver.
Wow.
Some good news, and yeah, started late because I didn't come back from the program until like later into like the school start date. But we figured it out. It was a good time. I got a team together and had events going that were set for like annual, so like International Tourism Day. So it was like come back and okay, we had to make an event for this event, make it good. So it was like a lot of hustle in between, which is good. Throws you into, the position and experience. Yeah.
Yeah, because we also, Chantal and I, we also had experience in RHCSS. Unfortunately, not with you as our president, as our boss.
Not.
But yeah, like I really enjoyed the experience I've had there. Remember, because like I got super close with people in my program, and I helped plan the annual conference.
Yeah.
Like Zara, the president of our year, Zara Abdullah, she like trusted me and like pretty much gave me like was like here.
You guys were the clipboard people of the conference. Like you were
was
the clipboard people
at the Raptors game with the clipboard running around.
Exactly. It's true. I remember seeing that clipboard. It was very thick.
Yeah.
I remember
that was a really thick operation.
Running around as well, running the show. And I attended that conference, right?
Yeah.
It was great. I thought you were definitely switching it up, always like leveling up from the previous years, right? Because there's a 2-year gap. It was great.
Yeah.
Like, well, thank you.
New level.
Yeah. What's like a memorable like event that you hosted as president?
I'd have to say, the biggest one that we had to work really hard on was that yearly conference. Yeah. And it was about just get thrown into that, having never planned an event that big. And since the previous president, great, he was like in Vancouver, thriving in his new job. We were all happy for him, but it was hard to ask for help. And maybe it was a personal thing. Like I didn't know who to ask, I guess. So it made it hard, but also I had a team that made it easy. But in between, some things just had to get done that wouldn't get done. That's frustrating. But at the end of the day, it was a good conference. Everybody showed up. Yeah. All the guests.
I mean, the photos look great. I was going through the drive one day and I found all the photos. They look great.
I got to go through that too then to make sure like I'm not thinking of something else.
Down memory lane.
Yeah.
All right. So I also have down in our notes, you were also, I guess, was this after RHCSS, but you were also a Baxter student ambassador.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that. Was that something involving like traveling?
So I believe that was like through another hospitality and tourism email to apply. Baxter being like a travel media magazine type of company. I think it was around, I want to say after, I can't be sure what year, but it was in a time where I was transitioning. I wanted to transition from operations to like hospitality and like hotelier to tourism. So I applied for this because Tom Griffin was talking about it. And it was about if you were a student that were selected after doing a video application on a topic of tourism. I still remember my topic was to research how Air Transat would sell their trips to France. Very specific.
Ooh.
I'm sure Frederick loved that one.
Hopefully he saw it. I stuttered a little bit in that video. It's on YouTube somewhere. And
it's on YouTube.
If I look back, I'm pretty sure I would do some cringing.
See, I didn't dig deep enough. I would have watched that before I did this.
Okay, but you got the ambassador position, so obviously it was a good video.
Yeah. And it was great. They like invited us to like a networking session. They had brought in people like in the industry to meet. They also brought in other students who, just like me, got the title of ambassador. And as it's kind of like a prize. We're all given an opportunity to take some like specialty jobs here and there, whether it be like in a resort in a different area, like in a different like city of Ontario, I believe, or mainly like work experiences like that, like travel agent. And if you want to put your feet through the door, never done like travel agency, it's like sales. That was an option. I think I opted in for that. But what had happened was I delayed that to go on an Amsterdam exchange. And I kind of delayed it so much that I kind of just like unfortunately disappeared. But I'm very, very grateful I was given that, opportunity in a way. Yeah.
I mean, sure. I want to talk about that because my first experience with Jessie, before I like even met her, was how she was this super involved person who had just come back from traveling for like extended periods of time. And this was my first experience with you when I entered first year. I think you were talking at orientation or something about your experiences.
Yeah, I did a few of that. How could I not promote it was so fun to I lived in Amsterdam for that entire half semester, learned so much, saw so much. I was just coming off that high from coming back, telling literally every single person like, wow, Amsterdam exchange was so great. Met so many people, traveled so many places, like go do it if possible.
Yeah.
So
how long were you there for?
It was a semester, like a December to
like 3 months.
Yeah, it was exactly. I want to say like school probably ended like April, but I took the opportunity to like travel more in Europe. So I kind of did some back there. And then after that, didn't see my family in a while. Everybody was in Hong Kong. Flew over to Hong Kong, did some travel in Asia. Then did I come back. And that's why maybe I was like even more hyped since it was like way more travel than I thought I would. I came back.
Where else in Europe did you like travel to after Amsterdam?
Ooh, Amsterdam. I did Paris, which I was really hyped up for. But I also was backpacking alone. Being alone in the city of love. I think I want to go back again.
But not alone this time.
Doing selfies while every couple beside me, It's like, love of my life. I like was a part of like, or besides so many like engagements, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh no.
Once or twice, I swear. But I did some like backpacking around with a friend that I met in Europe, and that was probably the best time. Like Prague, East Europe, which I would never think I would ever go, but it was about getting out of your comfort zone. Went to East Europe type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, go.
All right.
I'll give you all the pins on my map.
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
Make us an itinerary and we'll go.
Oh.
This is literally the event planner in us. I was like, itinerary, Google Doc, operations manual.
Yeah, everything. Give it to us all. Okay, so you came back from Amsterdam.
Yes.
So you're doing all these jobs, RHCSS, catering, Walt Disney World, while still going to school.
Yeah.
How do you have time to sleep? How did you have time to sleep?
It was hard. I mean, I shouldn't say it was hard. I think marks and academic wise, I didn't graduate with honor roll, like some things you give and take, where you want to put your effort. I made sure I passed everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've never been asked about my GPA, right? Until now we're talking about it. It's quite funny. But all my professors, I think most importantly, all my professors I still got to connect with. And it wasn't about the grade. It was about how I connected with them through the course. I think that was good enough for me.
So it's like the importance of networking, having the connections.
Yeah.
And I guess it also helped because some of your jobs were at Ryerson. Yeah. So you get to know some of the profs and like the administrators beyond the classroom, beyond the office.
Which is
so helpful.
Incredibly important, must say. Best thing I did during first year.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I hope somehow, some way I gave you that. Maybe I told you in first year and now you took advantage of it.
I think we met at World Tourism Day. I want to say RHTSS really like made all of this happen in every way. So I think it was World Tourism Day, but you had like great vibes and you were just coming off your 8-month trip essentially.
Thank you. Good vibes.
Yeah. All right. So you're doing all this during your undergrad and then March 2020 comes.
Ouch.
So, like, I guess you and me, we were on this high, like we're doing everything, we're working towards this degree, and then the world shut down. And we're, and we're stuck at home for like 9 months.
Yeah.
Toronto. No one was hiring.
Yeah.
So how did you navigate your post-undergrad career in a pandemic in that first wave?
That situation.
Yeah, in that situation.
Yeah. At first, I was like, okay, great. The entire hospitality and everybody in our program is like all on the same page. But how could I wish that? Obviously, I want everybody to like thrive in what they want to be doing. But for a little bit, I was like, okay, great. I can finally take a breather. But then the quarantine was like going here opening, further apart. And it was hard. Sure, I did some like self-development during the pandemic, made some sort of type of schedule for myself where I applied for those Ryerson boot camps, did some coding there. Yeah. I started exercising really regularly again, making sure I was healthy, spending time with my parents. I mean, the only person I could see, so I had to make sure that was a good relationship. American Sign Language. I think
that's cool.
Yeah. I did not know that.
I can't even tell you. I like J. I'm not even gonna. I need to.
Yeah. All I know is that. All I know is that this means I love you or something, or no, this means I love you or something. I don't know. I saw that on TikTok.
I cannot confirm or deny that, unfortunately.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
If there was a comment live section, people would just like.
Oh, I know.
It, like.
And they'll make fun of me for doing whatever I just did.
Yeah. Hopefully that wasn't anything bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see. I guess cooking. Made some like really bad banana bread, like everybody else in the world. Yeah, not my strength. But yeah, it was hard. It was just hit so abruptly, a hard stop. But I guess what mattered was that when things or opportunities were coming back up, I was open to trying or like broadening where I wanted to go. As I said, I wanted to get out of hospitality in hotelier. I wanted to get into tourism specifically, but I had to like throw that out the window. Like, hey, I know my experience in hotelier is good. Let me kind of like push that about myself. And it's about, you know, whatever's open, what I could learn from. I just kind of applied everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, and go ahead, Chantal.
I was just going to say, I think you're basically working in tourism now. Like, how did you get from, you know, pandemic situation to everything that you're doing now? Because you're doing a lot now as well.
I was lucky. Like, it was that time where I was sending in like 10 resume emails or LinkedIn or Indeed. Like, so many had a whole Excel about it. Nobody was getting back to me. It was like a whole high and low. It's send 10 emails and like, okay, this is a really good job. Hopefully it'll last me, but it doesn't come through. But finally it does come through in like the October, where like 2 of the jobs got back to me. And it wasn't ideal in a few ways, like maybe the pay or the schedule or the title, right? But I was like, hey, like, who am I to choose right now? Like, I need to get myself busy again. It was somewhat in the hospitality sector. I know I could do it really well. And my mom would say, like, well, if you know you can do it, you can grow within, right?
Yeah.
So I'm still in those positions that I applied for, plus 1 more.
Nice. So yeah, so like before we get into like in depth about like your positions, I don't know if you felt the same way how I felt, because like when like undergrad ended, like I kept comparing myself where I was to like past years alumni, you know, but then at the same time, like I couldn't do that because like it made myself feel guilty. It was like, okay, like, well, they're here and they're here, but I'm like, they never had to deal with a pandemic. So like I had to be like a little more forgiving of like what I'm doing now, you know? So like, you know, like how do I say this? Like I can't feel bad that I'm at home, you know, like I don't know, like cooking or, you know, doing this, doing that, or like just like taking like or waking up at like noon because like it's a pandemic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I was like, somebody told somebody that in an interview question, somebody asked, like, how did you develop yourself during the pandemic? And people are like, hello, it's during the pandemic. Don't
like I didn't. Like
prepare yourself.
We had
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to get you know, you slowly by yourself at your comfortability and at your own pace, figure out the rest of what you do. But yeah, 100%. I was trying to say, like, I 100% compared myself. A lot of my friend circles came from, like, graduated with really great jobs, and that I was jealous of in a way. But also, again, how could I not? Because it's what they wanted to do. It's perfect for them. Very happy for them, and I'd still get connected with them. And there's a little pang of like, oh man, this person has like their full-time job with benefits, and here I'm still trying to look for a job.
Yeah, there is the like, I wish I was there, but at the same time, we have to be proud of like where we are given the circumstances, right?
100%. Yeah, and it's not like they were rude about it. They were like, hey, you can find a job. You'll find a job that's perfect for you. And like, here I am. Didn't think I'd be here, but here I am with a great job that I love personally.
Yeah. So like you actually got hired at 2 places.
Yes.
Yeah. So Unionville, BIA, and Main Street Markham, or Markham Village. Sorry, Markham Village, BIA.
Yes.
Yeah, both in Markham, just 10 minutes away from me.
We're going soon.
We're going to my events that I'm funding soon.
All right, so let's start with Unionville because that's where like everyone talks about. So like, what is your position at Unionville, and like what's like a typical day at your job?
Ooh, well, in Unionville, I am the market coordinator. So they used to have like an annual market in the summer. But just this year, I mean, last year it didn't happen because of COVID, but we are revamping it this year with a nice location, with new vendors, new marketing tactics, new everything marketing new in different ways. And so what I do is by creating this weekly, it's a Sunday market. Not only am I supporting, reaching out and, you know, inviting, supporting these local entrepreneurs in a way, I'm also supporting, reviving the business, the local businesses on that street. And that's the main point of the BIA, the business improvement area, is to, you know, bring tourism to its streets, make sure people know about it, shop local, beautify the community. And it's fantastic because it's a good community, and things that you're fixing or helping to fix is a feel good thing. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So you talked about like tourism. So like right now, is your focus more so on like domestic tourism, or are you slowly working towards incorporating like the international tourism back into the fold?
Mm-hmm. Domestic for now. We are a pretty small street, and just kind of reaching out to communities. If anything, like I want to be reaching out to more people in Toronto, because it's Markham, you know, it's a nice little getaway from the city. There's nice little ravines and parks that you can walk. So a lot of people like to come for that. And if they come for that, like, hey, there's a market, let's explore the area. I mean, that's what I'm trying to, that would be interesting.
And you've been reaching out to places in Toronto even. I saw like Courage Cookies, which is one of my favorite places, is down here. And Affirmate, which is, I guess it's more like an online company, but the person who runs it goes to Ryerson. So you've been reaching out to places outside of Markham for sure.
Oh, yes. It was hard at first because, you know, you also you're following COVID regulations from the city. The city of Markham is, obviously there's a lot of rules when events happen. Then there's vendors like about their scheduling, or, you know, COVID concerns, or finances, all of that planning that I didn't think of before I took the job. Now that I'm thinking of for them, I'm only doing what's best for them. I'm not going to pitch them something that I don't think they would benefit from. That's not what it is. It's about making a community out of everything.
Yeah. So just to clarify on one thing, so the Sunday market, it's not just for businesses on Main Street, Unionville. It's like you're trying to showcase small businesses in the GTA.
Correct.
Oh, okay. That's fun. Oh, wow.
It is fun. Yeah. Hard and fun. Love it.
Yeah. And like you created this kind of market.
Yeah.
We are definitely going, Chantel.
Yes. Oh, it's in the GCal. Like we're going.
Yeah,
if it's in
going.
the GCal.
Yeah.
If it's on the GCal, it's
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might go before this episode gets released. So yeah.
We probably will.
Will.
We are. Yeah. We're
Yeah.
gonna shoot some content, I think, while we're up there.
Yeah.
While I'm up there.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes away from me, but then Chantel's in downtown. So
I'm in downtown. I'm a little a ways away from that.
Yeah.
You find a way. Your friends are here. You'll find a way to come here.
Yeah.
Oh, I will.
Main Markham Village BIA. Are you employed in the same capacity there, or what's your role over there?
It's a little bit bigger. So I was hired as an events marketing specialist first.
Okay.
Before Unionville BIA. And the job title was more, focusing on creating events and marketing it to, again, bring tourism to the street. But of course, back in September, October, there was no events at all. This is the farmers market is the first event ever. So I got ahead of myself. So from that time to now, I've been doing a lot of online marketing, connecting with all of the businesses that are on the street, reaching out to do what I can to support their business of takeouts or mainly takeouts or the services, moving their services online for selling and stuff like that. Only now, Main Street Markham, the Markham Village BIA has a farmers market. So I've been planning that on the Saturdays.
Yeah. So on the Saturdays you do Markham, and then on the Sundays you do Unionville.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Weekends are booked.
Weekends are booked, and don't even get me on the third place.
Yes.
So your third place, tell us a little bit about that. Not as exciting as weekend markets, but
Whoa, I'll fit it into one day So my third job is a shift supervisor at Kettleman's Bagels out in Etobicoke. So what I'm doing is just making sure the restaurant's in like tip-top shape. Overseeing the team, my team members for the shift, overseeing like wholesale, making sure that everything is like COVID up to date, following the regulations, and obviously like the cleanliness and hospitality of the place.
Do you
Still
guys
exciting.
No, it's great.
Still exciting.
Yeah. Do you guys still like? Do you guys have patios, or no? Or is it's not like a restaurant? It's more
not
so
quite
like
a patio. No,
a
like a
shop.
garage. Yeah, yes and no. We have like it's a full restaurant where like there's a garage door.
Okay, I get it.
That can go up, but it's technically indoor dining just with the garage. So we haven't been able to open it up for people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when it does, we'll stop by.
Yeah,
Please, I'd love to send you.
We're gonna stop by Markham Market. We're gonna stop by the Unionville Market, and then we're gonna drive all the way to Etobicoke.
Yeah, and that's what I do.
Exactly.
And that's what I do on some weekends. If I'm scheduled on the weekend to do my market Saturday or Sunday, and I'm scheduled to do the supervisor job in the evening, I do a 3 to 11. So I'm in Markham in the morning, planning that out, clean up, finish everything with my volunteers. Then I'm driving to Etobicoke doing the next shift.
Wow.
So what does your week actually look like?
Well, thank God, like, for the BIA jobs, I'm able to work from home.
Okay.
So I'll work from home in the morning, and then I'll do the evening shift, 3 to 11. But say if I do need to be in the office, I will drive there first thing in the morning, get everything done, and then drive out to Etobicoke. Yeah.
So with 3 jobs, how do you keep that like work-life balance? Because it's like going down like your responsibilities and stuff. It's like kind of like what you did in like undergrad, where you're juggling school and like volunteer and like jobs.
Except now you're driving over the GTA instead of on campus.
So true. And I got that driver license. But that's so true. I never thought about it until now that I am like, I guess when you say it like that, I guess it feels like I've done this before, juggling all of these things.
Okay.
And maybe that's why I feel like I'm able to do it more so. So Ryerson, all of the clubs and stuff was like, it got me set for what I'm doing now. I can't say it more.
Yeah. So like I know people like they have like tactics like, oh, like I can't do work in the bedroom, like that's just for like sleep. So like do you have like your methods of like keeping work separate from like personal life? Because I guess like with working from home, like it gets convoluted. So like how do you keep that balance?
Yeah, I totally get that. I guess in a way I'm still trying to work on that. I mean, it's a whole lot of force myself so I should say this, with juggling the 3 different roles, I have to make sure I get things done. So wherever I am, usually in the living room here, I allocate that time like, hey, well, I need to leave the house by 2:00 for my next job. Well, I just have to finish that up. I have to. There's a self deadline, in place.
Yeah, so I guess just like time management, obviously.
Yeah.
So you also live by the Google Calendar. Nothing has changed since undergrad.
Yeah. So I'm writing things. I'm not too focused on the GCal anymore, just because I've been liking that flexibility of work from home and like there's no boss to like oversee you. Just trust me that I'm doing my stuff. I'm getting the marketing done, getting the planning done, and it's working really well.
That's good to hear. All right, so we are 1 year into the pandemic, a year and a bit. Like you've had like a thriving career. So what is like, I guess, an advice that you would give for like current HTM students or any student studying hospitality? Or like also, I guess it's a 2-part question. Like, was there a silver lining to like the pandemic and like your career?
Yeah. Give us your wise wisdom.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, silver lining is that like I'm so grateful to have landed these jobs that are actually in my sector and that I'm actually passionate about, supporting these small businesses and like working with a community to better it, to beautify it. make tourism come, right? And I've been getting, because businesses are so hit, right? They're so grateful, and that really does make me feel good about the work that I'm doing. Love that. And I've loved connecting with all of these people, listening to their stories, hard or good news or bad news. Made the best connections in like the worst time, right? In hospitality. Silver lining is that I'm sure like more opportunities to come just from accepting these opportunities. But I was thinking like, and a piece of advice.
Yeah. The 2021, the 2021 class is having their graduation in like a few days, like their ceremony, online ceremony. So like a piece of advice for like newly grads who are graduating this year.
Or students, whatever you want to share.
Yeah. Okay. I'd have to say this. Okay. Realizing your strength. Knowing your weakness, but realizing your strength and what that could do for almost all aspects of your life. But since we're talking about career, yes, career. So for me personally, I always knew I was very comfortable talking to people, spark conversations in any way. But I always thought that was more of like it's a casual skill. Like, great, I'm talking to my family, sparking up conversation there. Friends or family, right? Conversation just flows out, and it's always a good time. But here I am, like I realize I'm finding my way to use it for work. I'm using these people skills to do sales, connecting with vendors, cold calls, warm calls, handling guest complaints, handling organization, planning, that's talking to people, going through like a bunch of like chain people, this person to this person, this person, this person, making that connection. Realizing that strength is what's helping me thrive in these 3 positions. So
nice.
Very wise words.
Yeah.
Very wise words.
Realize
Did you make notes, Chantal?
I did. It was all here. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm taking it in.
Okay. Can you do like a little realize your
Oh, I wish I had that.
Oh, the editing power we'll have.
Yeah. So I think it's just that. I think I'm gonna stick with that for a little bit longer to see what other kind of wisdom will throw my way. But that's what I got. Yeah.
I mean, okay, we're wrapping up slowly our last episode here, and we have a fun piece left. Some rapid fire. To that.
Realize your strengths.
Andy got the graphics going there.
Yeah.
That sounds like an ad. Like,
all right. So
blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Yeah. So we have, as Chantal said, a quick little game. This or that rapid fire. Just some of them are hospitality related. Some of them are not.
They're just casual.
Just casual. Just want to get to know you, right? All right. So Chantal, do you want to just take turns? You go first, and I'll.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Jessie, here you go. Hotel or Airbnb?
Airbnb.
Dine in versus takeout.
Takeout.
Coffee or tea?
Sorry?
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Are you a morning bird or a night owl?
Morning.
Morning.
Okay. Do you prefer music or podcasts?
Music.
All right. Do you prefer a winter wonderland or an island paradise?
Winter wonderland.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, night in or night out?
Night in.
Night in. And finally, Main Street Unionville or Main Street Markham?
No, I can't do that. I can't do it not.
Are you pleading the fifth?
I can't. I love, they're very different. Demographics, the people, the job. I love both. Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer.
All right. So just on the screen, if you are a video or watcher, Jessie's LinkedIn and some socials to Main Street Unionville and Main Street Markup are on the screen. But is there, as we wrap up, is there anything else that you want to promote, Jessie?
Do a shout out?
Any shout outs? Anything else you're up to?
Ooh, I would love to say like hit me up with whatever it is, whether it be school or any advice. I always love connecting with people. I love it when people find me somehow and they're like, oh, you've done this. Can you talk to me about it? I'm like, yes, love that. Quick shout out to the HTM program. This was such a good idea that you guys presented me. I'm so happy. I'm so honored to be your first guest, but also wouldn't be where I would be with this, like in the sector, if it wasn't for the administrators, the faculty, my group of friends. I think they all know who they are. But yeah, every person that I've like come across in the program has definitely helped shape me to be here.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. And for the audio listeners, all of this information will be in the description.
Yes.
Yeah. But other than that, we did it. The very first episode.
That's it.
Oh my God.
Do that low budget.
The low budget.
The low budget clapping, I think it calls for it.
Love.
Yeah. All right. So you guys can follow RHAA on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at RHAA Ryerson. And our LinkedIn is just our full name, Ryerson Hospitality Alumni Association.
See you all on our socials.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.